Hello everybody, welcome to Malaysia. The schools in Amsterdam and today also in Moscow are unfortunately, or maybe fortunately because of the virus, they're closed. We are more or less locked up in Malaysia in this beautiful apartment, and we thought, well, let's make the best of it since nobody can practice real yoga classes. We decided to try this on Facebook. It's our first experience, so I hope I will reach you through this media. And please let us know if my voice is clear, remarks or suggestions in which we can improve, because I think this will not be the only time that we're going to do it. There will be more classes in the near future. So I'm very happy to share this class with you since we are locked up in our apartment. And like I wrote in the message, I'd like to talk about the practice in terms of needs. To start your practice by expressing certain needs and to feel the fulfillment of those needs during your practice. Not only after the practice. A lot of people, after doing a yoga class, they feel good, they feel lighter, they feel more silent in their brain, but they also reflect to the yoga class itself by saying, well, it was a tough class, or it was really a hard one. And I think when we want to prepare ourselves for our daily activities, we should also learn that when we are at work, when we are acting, that we should monitor our feelings at the same time. And the positive feelings, the feeling of well-being. And nature gave us feelings in which we are able to experience our body as a whole, which are positive feelings, and they come from the body, which unfortunately most of the times is neglected, because when we're at work we more or less forget the body. And when we do our sports and our practice and our yoga practice, we harden very often in our body, and it's such a pity that these things happen to us, because the body is such a beautiful instrument to give something else instead. We only need to change our awareness, and that's what I like to talk about and practice today. What can be the fulfillment of needs when we talk about the practice in yoga in a body which starts to become connected? I mean, it's not a superficial thought to become whole. The technique in critical alignment, by making use of the connections and the tools we use, break the patterns of fragmentation in our body and restore the wholeness. I think everybody who has some practice experience with critical alignment knows that it's really happening. And so when you tell yourself the story of the fulfillment of needs, then I think everybody will believe it. And when you believe it, it becomes your reality. Thanks to a strong technique, we are able to create another world, another relation with our body. What are needs? Needs are, like I said earlier, are positive feelings, and they can be experienced in the whole body. They radiate the wholeness in the experience of our body. Negative feelings, unfortunately, separate the body, fragmentate the body, and we don't experience the wholeness. We radiate our negativity most of the times to the world around us. So we leave ourselves and become the outer world. But in yoga practice, we should learn how to do the opposite, to return into ourselves, into our body, and don't become the actors anymore, but the receivers. We're human beings, and the being, the feeling of well-being, are feelings which arise from the body. They don't arise from thought, they don't arise from talking, from language, but they arise from the experience in your body. And needs, the feelings we use so often in our practice, are feelings of space, lightness, energy, rest, stability, strength. That is a turning point, that can be a turning point in your practice. What do you expect from your practice right now? Take a little time to think about it. What would you like to experience? Maybe in this uncertain times in the world with the virus moving around, you have the feeling that you lost something, like safety, or maybe energy, or maybe security, the feeling of stability. And I think when you really feel the urgency in the when you speak about these things to yourself before you start to practice, then it will change your practice quite a bit. And instead of becoming the human doer, we can turn into the human being again and develop a feeling of well-being even in these uncertain and very difficult times we have to face or we're already facing. So I'm very happy to share it with you because I also have the need to practice and to feel the safety in my body, and maybe it will help us to give support to the immune system when we develop these positive values in our body. And so let's give good care to ourselves, let's give good care to our fellow people on the planet. That's an urgent matter these days, an urgent message. And I think giving care starts with giving care to yourself. And when you experience the care, you can give it to others, or maybe you radiate it to others. I want to do a simple exercise, and I will talk from the perspective of space. I will also talk about the perspective of strength. And I hope you will enjoy that as much as I will do it during the practice. And let's try to find out whether the doer, the I, the willpower, takes over. And as soon as we notice that we put on hold on that type of action and shift into the being again. So when we become active, first we practice in silence, like a meditation, laying on the strap. But then it will be a little more active, the arm movements and moving up to little bridge, only to find out if there is that immediate shift to the doing instead of perceiving the being, the feeling of well-being. And I'd like to ask you to pay attention to what's happening to your movements then. Do they become softer? Do they become more delicate? Do they radiate something else than only action? Let's explore that together. And I hope you read the message which I wrote on Facebook, that you only need to prepare yourself with a mat and with the strap. And I think most of you, if you're watching, know what the strap means. You can double it and put it between your shoulder blades, and then I will try to talk you into it. So just for the feeling, I always measure whether the strap is a little taller than me, so I feel secure. I know what I'm doing. I touch the crown of my head, and I did it maybe 1,000 times, laying on the strap, but I like to do it. It's like a little ritual, which feels pleasant, and it gives a feeling of certainty to my actions. So yes, the strap is a little taller than me, so the bottom side of the strap between my shoulder blades is giving pressure to the right area, just below my shoulder blades, corresponding with the heart area at the front. And the beauty of this practice and the beauty of the strap is that if you join, or maybe you join later, we all feel the pressure at the same spot. The spot in which we carry our luggage, the history of stress, the tension which stress, the structural part of stress, left behind in my body, which I carry with me for so many years. And most of the times I'm not even aware of it, because the structural tension causes a certain immobility in my spine, and when the spine doesn't move anymore, I don't feel it. I lose it. And when I lose the certain sensatory connection with different parts of my body, I experience my body, unfortunately, as fragmented. So, when I exhale to the strap, I describe what I feel. And I need to change what I feel immediately into the positive. Otherwise, when I stay a little longer, I will reach the edge of my comfort zone, and a negative judgment will come from my subconscious. So I need to be prepared. First, I need to know that I feel safe. Otherwise, the judgment of pain, which is not true, there is no pain, we're not aggravating anything, we're releasing something. But still, the old reference to stronger sensations coming from our past experiences are stored in images in my subconscious, and my brain uses those references. So whenever the sensations become stronger, subconsciously I call it pain, and pain is danger, and there will be a stop sign to the progress of my movement. Don't go any further. It will be dangerous when you go further. So I need to change the perspective. Pain is an umbrella of different feelings, which the total outcome of that, we will give it that name of pain. But what do I actually feel when I exhale to the strap? Try to describe. Maybe you feel some hardness in muscles. And the hardness means that the feeling, the sensatory connection, starts to develop again. It's way worse if we don't feel anything. But the hardening means that there may be some tension in certain muscles. And the moment I feel it and send my exhalations to it in order to soften, then I know that even when I feel the hardening, I'm breaking the tension. And breaking the tension, relaxation, is nothing more than the confrontation with the tension which are stored in my body. So even if I feel the hardening, I know I'm releasing my tension. What else do we feel? Maybe numbness, which can be the result of structural pain, of structural tension. The body becomes numb. But I hope at least that you will feel the connection, the contact between your body and the strap. I hope when you exhale to the strap, you feel the increase of heaviness. So the numbness starts to turn into sensitivity. What else? Maybe heat, warm sensations. And warm can turn, if you stay a little longer, into heat. And hot can become too hot, and then suddenly it becomes suspicious. But is it true? Now I experience it in a milder shape. The warmness radiates something like pleasantness. And of course, the warm feeling comes from breaking the tensions in the muscles, and blood circulation starts to be improved. Warm, hot, even too hot. When I reach the edge of my comfort zone, means it starts to circulate again. So what else do I feel? I feel the pressure in my spine. And when you exhale to that spot, you may even feel some movement in your vertebrae. And when the spine is stiff, the increase of movement doesn't immediately feels pleasant. It feels a little sore. And soreness, when I reach the edge of my comfort zone, becomes too sore. But what does it actually mean? It's nothing else than movement. And you cannot move too deep into this structure. The strap and the floor you're laying on is straight. And internally, we're protected by the facet joints who cannot move beyond straight. So I don't need to worry about the feeling soreness. It only indicates that there is, again, movement in my spine. So when we look at numbness, which is a negative feeling, it turns into sensitivity, which is positive. Hardness, contraction, is a negative feeling, but we can easily turn it into the positive. I'm breaking my tensions. I'm releasing it. Well, if you think that way, how do you feel? Soreness turns into movement, which is a positive. Heat or warmth turns into the thought of circulation, blood circulation. So if you bring together the positive feelings, movement, circulation, sensitivity, relaxation. How do you start to feel them? And in order to feel, to increase the experience of the positive feelings, we need to inhale in a certain way. We need to inhale without any judgment. And judgment is thought. And thought, that is me. So is it possible that the me, the I, disappears for a while? I think it is. And I think we can all experience the similar thing quite easy. When you give a little pause at the end of your exhalation, there will be, in that pause, a total inactivity. A total silence. A total surrender to the strap. The heaviness in my body increases. A total surrender to gravity. And when I look at myself in that pause at the end of my exhale, I don't feel related to I anymore. I'm not the actor anymore. I'm not the doer. I'm not related to thought and willpower anymore. The I surrenders in gravity. And the silence in thought is radiated by my eyes. Because it seems that my eyes don't have pupils anymore. It seems as if my eyes lose their activity and sink a little deeper into the sockets. It feels as if the contact between my eyelids and my eyeballs feels softer, spacious. The eye, with all its fears, with all its opinions, with all its negative strategies, dissolves in gravity. A certain negativity falls off me when I surrender to the strap. How does it feel? Well, some people say it feels like a void. And in that silence, maybe some people have intuitively the feeling that something negative may arise. As if all doors will open. Old memories will come back. But it's not true. The moment we give another meaning related to that silence without disturbing the silence to our inhalations. And in order to do that, we should not lose the connection with gravity. I'm very much aware that gravity keeps the eye sense, silent. So let us describe, as accurate as possible, what is going on when I exhale, what do I feel in my spine? And make an image of that feeling. The warmth, maybe the relaxation, the softening, the soreness, the movement, the blood circulation. I'm fully aware of it because I know I need to copy that feeling during my inhale. So when the feelings come together, when you start to shape an image, because images can bring feelings together, thought cannot. So I feel the unity of the positive in that image. The moment you feel the image, start to inhale without losing it. So when you inhale to the sternum, to the heart region, you become heavy. You feel the movement towards the strap. There will be an increase of warmth at the same time. And when you try to feel it as precise as possible, during your inhale, we all experience more or less the similar, and in the first place, that it will slow down your inhalation. And in that slowing down, that slow pace of your inhalation, we can give meaning to what we feel. The second we feel in that slow space, that my breath is related to the experience of my body. I don't breathe and move outside to the space around me. No, I feel how my inhale touches my sternum from inside. And I'm very aware of that part of my body. And we all know that we can experience and explore the feeling of space in that part of our chest, the heart region. Now that feeling, which is supported by the words we mentioned earlier, warmth, movement, relaxation, circulation, will do something with me in the experience of the positivity of my body. And when I start to feel the depth of it, it starts to spread. It doesn't stay in my chest. It's very easy to send my breathing to my legs, to my trunk, my arms, and my head, in order to experience that feeling of space in my body as a whole. And I don't forget the details. because it's all about the details. My relation with gravity, because if my relation with gravity is not there anymore, the I will become active, thought becomes active, and I lose the connection with myself. I don't forget the warm feeling of space, the relaxed feeling of space. Space as being energy, movement, which stays with me when we're going to move a little later. The energy of space is moving around in my body. Well, maybe you expressed your needs. Maybe you feel a lack of trust these days. Does the space you're anchored in, the body you're connected with, radiates that need, safety, or strength, or energy, or joy? Invite those feelings to come. Because the positive, certain positive feelings can easily be connected with other positive feelings. Joy and space can come together very easily. And it will deepen the experience of it. Joy, energy, and space, stability, can easily come together. And when it starts to develop together, how should we call it? Well-being. I feel good. Not a superficial good, but a good which is deeply rooted inside my body. And I know I'm not playing a game, because I am aware of the change in my body, in my spine. So I believe myself when my relation with space, well-being, also has the possibility to grow. Now let's try to find out what happens when we become active. A simple exercise, we all know. But how does a simple movement affect the relation with ourselves? And a deeper question, of course, is, can we keep it together, the activity plus the feeling of well-being? And if so, do I feel a change in the way I move? Interlock your thumbs and stretch your arms to the ceiling. We're going to add another feeling, strength, to the feeling of well-being. And I know I receive strength from the interaction with gravity as well. And that pressure of the strap against the back of my spine is my relation with gravity. So that particular spot in my body. Let's first do the opposite. Try to touch the ceiling and your arms move away from the spot. Then allow your arms to sink down. And it's not difficult to understand that you're releasing the tension in your spine, in your shoulders, but also in your arms. Your arms are related to gravity now. So when strength is my need, and I express it deeply to myself, I will never forget to straighten my elbows. So straighten them and feel your relation with strength, which is the opposite of tension. I am strong. Measure the heaviness in both upper arms and see if you feel any differences between left and right. Slowly, without losing the connection with the strap, slowly bring your arms over your head. Now what happened? Suppose you reached your end position. Did all your attention moved to the action, the movement of your arms? Did the doer came in and suppressed the being? Maybe you did, maybe you didn't, but let's explore. Raise your arms again. Let's look at it in terms of learning. Now, bring your arms over your head as the doer. Just bring them over your head. And I think everybody will experience the same. There's no reality with the being anymore. The action took over, the I came in, and we lost our feeling, the positive. Raise your arms again. Pay attention to breath. Breath is circulating through your body, through your arms, legs, and it radiates something. Not a dark void. No, it radiates the positive, the energy of space. And let me plan the movement in such a way that the movement of my arms also support that feeling. If you have that image, just start. Raise your arms again. I hope you felt a difference, that the movement of your arms wasn't harsh and direct anymore, but it became more gracious. There was more beauty involved. It was radiating some tenderness. And it accumulated, when I look at myself, the movement itself did something to the experience of my whole body. It added something. Maybe the strength or the pace with which I moved. Let's do it again. Now I feel the strength in my elbows. I measure the difference of heaviness in my upper arms. But when I do that kind of research, I don't lose my feeling of well-being. I don't lose the energy of space. My need is that the movement of my arms adds something to that deep experience. So let's do it. And raise your arms again. Do it 2-3 times. Pay attention to the movement, the contribution of the movement, the beauty, the gentleness. It's totally non-violent. Is it the I? Just keep doing it in your own pace. Is it the I who directs the movement? No. The I is still surrendered to gravity. It's the image which produced the movement, but it comes totally effortless, radiating the positive. And after doing it several times, just keep your arms over your head for a while. And whatever sensations you feel in your upper arms, it's strength. Of course, it can turn into the negative as well. It may become a little crampy maybe, stronger sensations. But here also we have the responsibility to turn the so-called negative, because it isn't, into the positive. And even if the feelings have become stronger, it's coming from the relation with gravity. It's coming from the connection with the source. So it is strength. Strength is energy. Look at little children. They operate from strength. They have all that energy and joy and enthusiasm. Let it come in. And raise your arms again. Bring your hands on your lower ribs. And also the legs will be part of the action. And the activity immediately has the possibility that I shift into the doing, into my willpower. I'm going to move to Little Bridge. I have that image. It's simple. Most of you did it many times. So I don't need to put effort in it. So since I know that, and since our research topic was not to become the doer, because the doer immediately suppresses the fulfillment of our needs, let's step inside again. I exhale to the strap. I feel the heaviness. And I say it to myself. The I surrenders to gravity. And without losing gravity, I inhale the depth of all the positive things we mentioned before. Simply the energy of well-being, the energy of space, joy. And without losing it, raise your body. And the raise will go slow.
but it feels pleasant. Not too slow. It adds something. And my legs are active. But I feel that even my legs are connected to the source. When I give a little pressure with my legs, it supports the inward motion below my shoulder blades. So I know I'm not working from strain in my legs. I release the tension in my body and I operate from strength. Strength is energy. It's not tiredness. So here also, I turn the negative into the positive. And the feeling of well-being, the feeling of space, the feeling of energy says, welcome, come in, let's work together. And slowly go down. And don't shift into the doing. Vertebrae by vertebrae. Until you touch the floor. And when you're on the floor, ask yourself the question, what do I take to my normal activities? What did I learn from this little session? Maybe to slow down a little bit, to pay attention to your inner world when you're active. That not every action should be supported by that willpower strength, but we can do it from a certain image, from joy. The good, it feels so rich, so beautiful. And why should we forget it so easily? Maybe because of the speed we live in, we move in. And maybe we have the opportunity these days to go a little slower and enjoy the body and our actions deeper. Now slowly roll to your side.
Thank you for joining. And again, if you have some support for us or advices, please let us know. I hope to see you soon. Thank you.